Yo, turn it up. It's Gerod on the air, spitting truth in the booth. We ain't going nowhere. New Orleans City got us hard in the beat, but corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. But corruption creeping in, gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tune in, y'all. Let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we say. Yeah.
Well, what?
Yeah, just said, yeah.
What?
That's what you say.
Yep.
What?
What?
What's going on, good people? Welcome to the show. What's today? Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Hump day?
Yeah, I keep forgetting what day
We
it
knew
is.
he was going to say that
Yeah.
Of course.
when you said that.
I missed saying Taco Tuesday. Yes. Taco Tuesday.
You did not do it yesterday. I was surprised.
I missed saying Taco Tuesday.
Oh. See my face?
Oh.
What's going on, good people? Welcome to the show. She is back, Lord.
I am back. How do you like that?
Hallelujah.
Yesterday was such a good show. I just had to come back.
She is back with us again, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the magnificent, the attorney extraordinaire in the building, Suzette Bagnaris, y'all. What you doing? I mean, what's going on?
Had a few depositions this morning, and then I hopped on over here.
I forgot what you look like today. I came in, you were like, hey, went and locked yourself into the conference room.
Very busy. Just want to let people know, just on another note, that we are no longer protected in the city of New Orleans, the state of Louisiana, when you ride in a ride share vehicle. And by ride share vehicle, I mean an Uber or a Lyft. You're not protected when that vehicle is in a collision with another vehicle that leaves the scene.
Mm-hmm.
There is no uninsured motorist coverage or underinsured motorist coverage to protect the ride share vehicle passenger. That is a big change in Louisiana law.
So if I'm in an accident riding in the back of an Uber, the driver is more than likely covered and the car is more than likely covered.
Absolutely.
But me as a passenger in a ride share, I'm on my own.
There is no uninsured motorist coverage available to a passenger in an Uber or a Lyft anymore in the state of Louisiana.
That don't even sound right.
It doesn't sound right because, New Orleans is a tourist destination. A lot of people are riding around in these Ubers and Lyfts. And when you get into an accident with another vehicle, and that other vehicle may have some fault for the accident, but let's say they leave the scene or they don't have enough insurance to cover your injury, you are no longer protected. That is a problem.
So what happens with you?
You're just out of luck. You're on your own to pay for your own medical bills. To
USOL?
recuperate on yourself.
SOL.
Yeah. It's really a problem. So I just wanted to let people know that, that's the rule. The new ruling is coming out of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal, the Louisiana Supreme Court, and the Fifth Circuit. I think that's a big deal, and I just wanted people to know about it.
What is the insurance commissioner saying?
I don't know what the insurance commissioner is saying, but I do know what the courts are saying, and they're saying we are no longer covered.
Well, understand, people are protesting Uber anyway.
Really? What are they protesting them for, Wick?
Because they are supporting MAGA. They are big donators to MAGA.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I understand. Yeah, I understand.
But I don't think that's right, though, that you sitting in somebody's vehicle. That's like, you're a passenger.
Absolutely.
So wait. So I'm a little confused.
Like, let me give you an example
of this, but wait, let me just say this. So, as a driver, you're supposed to have insurance. Period.
You got
so, wouldn't their insurance cover the uninsured motorist that's in there?
No, their insurance only covers the liability of the driver if the driver hits the other car and causes the accident.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Uber.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about. But besides Uber, aren't they're supposed to have like State Farm or Allstate or Geico or something like that? Wouldn't that insurance pay?
No. So this is the deal. If the Uber driver is at fault for the accident, then there is coverage.
Right.
Coverage would be available to the other driver and the other vehicle, right?
Right.
And coverage may be available to the passenger if the driver was at fault. But let me give you this scenario. You're in an Uber. You're a passenger. Mm-hmm. You're helpless. You're in the back seat. Some other vehicle hits the Uber from behind and runs. There's no coverage.
Okay, so their other insurance, the main insurance that they have from a company,
does not cover you when in that situation.
What?
Where another vehicle hits you and runs. Normally, you'd be able to make a claim against the uninsured motorist of the vehicle you're in. Uber and Lyft have been legislatively protected to the point that you have no coverage when you're in the backseat of that vehicle. And I just wanted to let people know that because I think it's a shame in a tourist destination where people are traveling around in a lot of these ride shares that they no longer have protection in that situation.
That's why I'd be catching a cab or Rita, the RTA.
There you go. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I said Rita.
I know you have other things you want to talk about today.
No, you want to say something.
But that just really makes me angry.
I just hadn't got past Rita yet because they're going to ride Rita. Old school, just straight up old
nasty,
school.
bro.
I don't even know where he came from.
Y'all have to get that in. Y'all have to go back and forth with each other every day. Every day. I'll let y'all do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mammy.
Yep, yours too.
Mm-hmm.
After yesterday's show, has your phone started ringing?
The phone is ringing off the hook. Look, if you did not catch yesterday's show, please go back and listen to yesterday's show. It was a must listen to show. And if you can, please share it so other people can have the benefit of hearing it. Yesterday, we did a show on the Mering versus Ann Kirkpatrick case. We had the attorney on air, Bob Dunn, who handled that case and got a verdict against the city of Spokane, the Spokane Police Department, and individually against Ann Kirkpatrick. And he did not hold his tongue in the least bit.
Nope. You could tell that there was, what he said, some of this seemed to be personal.
Well, he said the liability upon her ended up being personal to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
The punitive damages, okay, that were awarded against her, $250,000 that had to come out of her pocket and not out from the city of Spokane, not from the Spokane Police Department, out of her pocket. And in his words, he said her behavior was vile. It was, oh my goodness, he said so many things about her, but he said she should not be a police officer anymore. And he doesn't know how she got hired to be the lead of another police department. If you did not hear that interview, please go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I was listening to the likenesses of what's going on here.
Oh, it was a mirror image situation of what is happening with Detective Chad Cockerham here and what happened in Spokane with Jay Mering, a detective on that police force, where she just set her sights on him and kept having these investigations that really weren't bearing fruit, but she would not let it go. She was like a dog with a bone, harassing that man as a whistleblower, and that's pretty much what we're dealing with here.
Yep. And then when I'm telling you, too, that a lot of stuff came out, other cases are now flowing, where police officers are just saying, you know, I'm not being treated fairly either. And even some of the things that are happening, I have something that I'm going to probably discuss on today. But, of course, you know, the ignorance level that I have, I'm probably going to do as the NOPD turns. I haven't done it this year.
Done what?
As the NOPD turns.
God, I gotta find our music, bro.
You'll find it.
Somebody disappeared our music.
You'll find it.
So what happened, just to let people know, is when we started talking about problems with the NOPD, I suggested that if you know of something, blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. Don't do it. Don't find out.
And when I tell you, people started blowing the whistle.
She didn't give me a chance.
Oh my God! People started blowing the whistle, and the phone has not stopped with people blowing the whistle.
Right.
And today they're blowing the whistle about sexual harassment claims in the NOPD.
What? Say, baby, you gonna hear it today. Everybody's like, what? Yeah, you gonna hear it today.
Oh, if you hear something, say something. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Gee, why you laughing? We asking them to blow the whistle and they blowing the whistle. He's right on time.
I need you to say
blow the whistle.
I need you to do your other song.
Oh, we're not gonna do that song today. I did that one on accident.
I gotta kill it before we get
yesterday.
Killed. I need you to do that song today. And
what?
Left the mics wide open.
Get off of it.
That's what
Get off.
Everybody kept texting us and calling us to tell us they heard us yesterday. So anyway, we're gonna try to do a little better today.
All right, you gotta take a break.
You could go a little longer.
No, take your break.
You don't want to go a little longer?
Take your break.
Okay.
We're gonna take the break. We're gonna come back, have some more conversation. And yes, for all of our NOPD officers, go ahead on and start texting your partners and let them know that it's coming today as the NOPD turns. The sexual harassment version. Yes, it's coming. More coming up, y'all.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month from the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month's focus is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, formed when fuels like oil, gas, wood, or trash are burned. These chemicals can enter the air we breathe and settle into our soil and water. Many PAHs are known carcinogens, adding to the health burdens faced by communities living near industry. Learn how to protect your health at risestjames.org.
What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godance is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart. The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks.
I'm ordering it today.
Well, I was gonna say they should be able to hear what's going on while the mics are off, but he'd leave the mic on so everybody could hear us.
Negro, you told me not to.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I can't do it next stop sign.
Look, you keep that energy. Don't do that.
Keep that energy for real.
You have no idea what would be said. So look, let's talk about something uncomfortable but absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual harassment inside of the New Orleans Police Department is not a rumor. It's not speculation. It's well documented. It's alleged in federal lawsuits. It's raised in many internal complaints and reported to oversight bodies time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the part we can't ignore. When sexual harassment happens inside a police department, the power imbalance makes it especially dangerous. We're not talking about co-workers with equal footing. We're talking about rank, command staff, supervisors, people who control assignments, overtime, promotions, and careers. And that changes everything.
Yep.
So G's been contacted by multiple officers, some decorated, some long-serving, that have alleged sexually hostile work environments, unwanted sexual advancements, inappropriate comments, and retaliation after reporting misconduct, which is what we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Retaliation, that word just keeps coming up when we're talking about NOPD.
Yep.
And retaliation is a silent killer of accountability.
So not only retaliation, but it also ends up being, let's guard our boy. So some of the issues that are going on also include who the complaint goes to PIB on, meaning that whoever the person is that's being accused of the sexual harassment, if they happen to be in the so-called in crowd, then their charge is usually dropped down or they're moved to somewhere else instead of having to go through the investigation at all.
And we're definitely finding there is a clique that seems to be coming up over and over and over again when it's coming to this retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
Because when officers fear being labeled as difficult or not a team player, or worse, when they fear losing their livelihood because they're going to get disciplined or terminated, it discourages reporting and it protects the bad actors.
Mm-hmm.
And here, the bad actors all appear to be a part of the in clique.
The in clique. The in clique. That's part of the silent folks, not saying a whole bunch, then going in and having these meetings with the powers that be, protect me, protect me, protect me. But if it happens to you, you're going to be fired.
Right. Now let's be clear. This is not an indictment of every officer who wears the uniform.
Nope.
Many men and women serve honorably every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But institutions are judged by how they respond when wrongdoing is exposed, not by how loudly they deny it. What's especially troubling is that historically, only a small percentage of sexual misconduct complaints inside NOPD are sustained.
Yep.
And that raises serious questions. Are investigators truly independent?
Mm-hmm.
Are the complainants protected? Or are the victims being quietly pushed out while the perpetrators stay in place and in some instances are getting promoted?
Now here's what we got. And I don't need to call the name yet because most of y'all gonna already know who I'm talking about, but we will. I'm talking about those that are inside the police department. It said that there is a female detective that has made a sexual harassment complaint and said that PIB didn't reassign him like they do the other black officers. Now, this person that the complaint was made against is not black. It's white. But they did not move him around like they do the black officers. They moved him to supervise the women in the parking control.
So you have a sexual harassment complaint made by a female officer, and they end up placing him in a position responsible for other female officers.
You are now getting ready to oversee the 50 new parking control officers, and they're women. So we are now taking the fox and putting him in the hen house.
As a supervisor.
As a supervisor.
And remember, NOPD has been under a federal consent decree for years, and federal oversight was supposed to change just this type of culture. So the question is, why are these claims still surfacing?
Mm-hmm.
Culture doesn't change with policy alone. Culture changes when leadership draws a hard line and enforces it. But sexual harassment still appears to be very pervasive
now
in NOPD.
Well, they removed, I know of 3 officers that may have had some type of complaint before. Now, if they did the charge, which I'm going to follow up. I think we owe them that to be able to follow up instead of saying we taking up for the guys because we don't know the entire case. But they removed Anthony Bakewell, Bradley Rhodes, who resigned, and also Rhett Charles. And they were black supervisors.
So when you're black and you have a sexual harassment complaint filed against you, you seem to lose your job.
Now, this white guy.
But you should, by the way, if it's sustained.
If it's sustained.
If it's sustained.
But this white guy got a complaint against him. He was overseeing the detectives. This detective made a complaint of sexual harassment, and they just said, because he writes policy for the NOPD, and they changed his sexual harassment complaint to professionalism.
Well, you touched upon a few things, and let me just say a federal lawsuit by a decorated NOPD officer was filed in 2025. A veteran NOPD officer filed a federal lawsuit against the NOPD in the city of New Orleans, alleging sexual harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. The complaint alleges a sexually hostile work environment and a quid pro quo harassment by another NOPD officer. It claims severe and pervasive sexually offensive comments and unwanted sexual touching, along with retaliation after reporting the conduct internally. But this is nothing new. You talked about Lieutenant Blake Bakewell. In an administrative proceeding, the Office of Independent Police Monitors received an anonymous complaint alleging sexual harassment and other misconduct by an NOPD lieutenant. And the complaint led to both criminal and administrative investigations with respect to Bakewell. Allegations included repeated inappropriate comments and offensive conduct toward another officer. Between 2014 and 2020, a report from local civil rights groups documented nearly 190 complaints against NOPD officers for sexual misconduct, intimate partner violence, or harassment between 2014 and 2020. So according to that analysis, about one complaint of this nature was filed every 10 days.
Now, at the beginning
during
of
that period.
Beginning of this week, a young lady was on Instagram, and she had a complaint. I think that she quit from being in communications over there because of the fact that she said the supervisor kept doing creepy stuff. That's what she kept calling it, creepy stuff. Even coming to her house unwanted. Talking about he doing a checkup on her. Yeah. So, of course, what I did was I sent a message. Hey, anybody know this young lady? Which I got her telephone number, and I called her. I was like, we'd like to hear your story. And of course, those other fools had started talking about me on Instagram because of the fact they don't like the fact that we start questioning folks about their politics. So she saw that, and she was like, well, I'm not going to call him back because y'all talking about him. I was like, if you believe all of that, baby, you go ahead on. We were trying to help you. But she also made that complaint. And I'm saying to myself, you either want some help or you don't. You can't be silent sitting in there on social media just saying stuff and just saying it, because that's what you're doing. You're just saying it. You have to be able to stand and say, hey, this happened to me and this person did it. You're going to take some scrutiny and you're going to go against some of the powers that be. But who are you? Are you going to take it? Because if you take it, they're going to keep doing it. You either put your foot down or put it somewhere else. I had another saying, but because they're going to keep doing it. And they think that they can get away with it. That's the whole big problem right there. They think that they can get away with it. And when they do get in trouble, they go running to Mama Bear. And Mama Bear be like, okay, well, we'll take care of it for you. I know you like my impression.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good impression.
Well, we'll take care of it. I need you to write policy for me.
Every time I see her on TV, I can't do nothing but picture him doing that.
So why are you messing with the ladies? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move you around a little bit, but, we're going to make sure that you're okay.
You see Suzette's face, right?
It's okay. Hey, Suzette, I just want to tell you something, too. The rats are high.
And they're eating all the evidence. I know. Thank you, Ann. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
They're high. They're all high. But hello and high.
Well, let me just tell you this on a serious note. How to protect yourself if you feel like you've been a victim of sexual harassment. Before anything else, document everything. Document the dates, the times, the locations. Start keeping yourself a journal. Write down the names, the ranks, the witnesses. If the harassment involves text messages, save those text messages and emails. Save the DMs. Save body cam references if you do get it on tape. CAD entries. Make sure, look and see if there were prior complaints or verbal complaints against that same officer. And document any retaliation in terms of shift changes, discipline, transfers, and isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Do this before you report because memories will fade, right? But records don't. Now, NOPD has a policy that requires reporting sexual harassment through internal channels. So you may file with your supervisor unless they are the ones that did it, right? And if they are, directly with NOPD Internal Affairs through the department's workplace sexual harassment complaint process. Now, if the alleged harasser is in your chain of command, bypass them and go straight to Internal Affairs. What happens next? An administrative investigation will be open. Statements will be taken. Findings may or may not be sustained. Internal findings, though, don't control your civil or federal rights.
But one of the questions that I had here, because you just read it, and I want to go back to it, because you said go to Internal Affairs. Internal Affairs for PIB is PIB for NOPD. And in this, it says that PIB didn't reassign him when he was making when there was a complaint against him by detectives saying that they had been sexually harassed.
Well, look, even if they don't sustain the complaint, you still have to go through the administrative process and exhaust it before you can file your lawsuit. Okay, so you have to go through the process.
Right.
Then after they either sustain it or they don't sustain it, you can, and you often should, file a complaint with the Office of the Independent Police Monitor. Why this matters? Because OIPM provides independent oversight, creates a separate record, and helps protect against complaints being buried internally. They can track the investigation, review how Internal Affairs handles the case, and they can flag retaliation concerns. Now, externally, after you do all that, even if you are an employee or an applicant, don't stop at internal reporting. Then you file with the EEOC or the Louisiana Commission on Human Rights. Deadlines matter. Generally, it's 300 days from the last act of harassment
So you need to
or
do it
retaliation.
within that year.
Yes, okay. And claims may include sexual harassment, like a hostile work environment, quid pro quo harassment, retaliation, gender discrimination. And this step preserves your right to file a lawsuit. After you do that, then you can file a lawsuit.
So one of the things, too, that if somebody goes toward the Public Integrity Bureau, let's say this detective, what she did, she went to the PIB folks over there and said, hey, I'm being sexually harassed. And within the certain period of time, they came back and changed her complaint from sexual harassment against this officer, lieutenant, and changed it to professionalism. A charge of professionalism.
How do they change her complaint? She knows what happened to her.
And look,
she documented what happened to her. How is it that they get to change the nature of her complaint? That doesn't smell right.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out. So let me throw this out here. And I'm hoping that somebody else in NOPD know who I'm talking to and y'all are probably having that conversation with this detective. We're not trying to get in her business to the point where we're trying to figure out who she is so we can put it out here on the radio. I think that would be irresponsible of us to do so. But I'd love to hear the story. And for me to hear the story and for you to hear the story, I want to hear it from her mouth. And if she would trust us enough to sit in front of us, off mic, off radio, and give us the details, I would say let's do that. Because we need to know, how did this complaint change from sexual harassment to a charge of professionalism? I'm like, what? Because professionalism means you get suspended for what, a day or two?
Right.
That's it? And then you can go back to where you were?
And it sure doesn't preserve the record for you to be able to file an external civil rights complaint.
Right.
Because professionalism is not a violation of civil rights.
But this is somebody that's trying to be in charge, in control, and think that they can control you, that you do what I say, or you're gonna have a big problem.
All I can say is, when we started down this path, just talking about one problem at NOPD, I did not expect all of this Pandora's box to be opened and everything to be exposed. But there seems to be a whole lot that is coming to the forefront that is troubling within NOPD.
And I want to kind of also talk about NOPD, but it is another case, which something that bothered me yesterday. So I got a chance to read, and this is during the beginning of the show, I read that, not a complaint, I read that comment that came from the Black Organization of Police for Chad.
Correct.
Right? I'm doing my research and finding out that Chad is a member of FOP and PANO.
But they haven't said anything.
Hadn't said a damn word.
Now, you're paying your dues to this organization.
Comes out of his check every single time.
Right, but they're not saying anything.
Why is that?
That's a great question.
And are they representing him? Because I want to know. We need to take a break.
I want to know, too.
I want to know why they didn't say anything. Because I pick up the phone to call and ask. Are you all representing Chad? How come y'all haven't said anything?
I think you do need to ask.
Because I don't know, and I don't think so. I'm speaking on what I think, not what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Bob didn't have to, because I don't know if he's a member or not. But I do know that he's a member of PANO.
That was a very strong statement from Bob.
Very, very strong. But I know that he is a member of PANO and the Fraternal Order of Police. And they ain't saying jack. Why? We need to take a break. Let's take the break. We'll come back. We'll take some of your telephone calls, too. 504-582-9422 is the number. More coming up. The attorney extraordinaire is in the building, y'all. More next.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to
all day long.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. The attorney extraordinaire is in the building again. I'm feeling privileged. You gonna spoil me. Don't be spoiling me. Because I'm going to be like, she ain't come today. Somebody call her and ask her where she is. And it ain't going to be on Fridays.
I just so happen to not have anything in the afternoon today.
You're not being spoiled. You're being spurled.
Spurled?
Spurled.
I forgot where I was. I'm sorry. I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, you said it all
I said
proper and
spoiled,
stuff.
but I pronounced it wrong. I meant to say spurl. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
You spurling me.
You're going all North Carolina on us and stuff.
I know I did. It came out every once in a while. Every once in a while it'll come out and be like, but I got to come back down to New Orleans. Spurl.
Bring it back down.
Mm-hmm. Did you find my music? You've never been here when I did that before.
I have.
You have?
I have had the privilege.
I see how enthused you are. You're going to be okay. It's all right. It's going to be okay. You ready?
You asked for As the World Turns.
That's not it. I need the Young and the Restless.
They must have changed it to the
That's
music.
the 1988 version.
Give me Young and the Restless.
All right.
He already, I don't even know why. I got to go through this with
you.
him.
You said As the World Turns. That's
just find the music. Find the music. Go ahead. I'm gonna do it.
Whatever.
I'm gonna do my what's his name? Boss Hog. Henley.
Look how quick he finds things.
It's in the computer right there.
Well, I made a hotkey for us, so we got it all the time now.
Take it away, Gerard. Set the stage.
I'm setting the stage. Y'all ready? You can turn up a little bit, just a little bit. Yes, we've been waiting for this a long time. I just need everybody to know that this one is going to sound sexy and sexist all at the same time. You can't mess with me because I got an attorney sitting right here beside me. But I need you to know, girl, that I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you wearing that tight blue. Miss Officer, can I get that thing off of you? I know that sounds like sexual harassment, but you can call it what it is. Because you ain't had none until you had some of this. Let me be the first one to reach down and pull out my 6-shooter. Because I want to hit you with that bop gun. Pow, 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 pow. How now, brown cow? So there was one day that he was walking through the halls of the police department. And she was coming down the hallway, And he couldn't help himself but to look at her. He said, "What's up, girl? How you doing?" I said it right. I ain't say doing. I said doing. And she said, "I'm doing all right, Lieutenant." That's a clue. And he said, "You ought to let me spank that. Spank that. Let me hit it from the behind, on the behind. And she said, oh. Oh. What? Spank that. Spank that. Spank that. And she said, no, sir, you don't talk to me like that. As a matter of fact, I need you to know that I'm going to file a lawsuit and I'm going to make a complaint against you for sexual harassment. That's sexual harassment. So she goes down to the people that got on their door, Public Integrity Bureau, and she says, I need to make a complaint. And they went, what? I need to make a complaint. Well, what kind of complaint you making? I'm making a complaint of sexual harassment. Why? Because he said he wanted to spank that, and hit it from behind. What? Fill out the paperwork. You look so enthused.
You know the music. That slow, dramatic piano that tells you secrets are being whispered.
Yes.
Power is being abused.
Harassment.
And someone is smiling in public while destroying lives in private.
Spank that.
Well,
Spank
today that music is not for Genoa City.
What?
It's for the New Orleans Police Department.
Spank that.
Because behind the badge, behind the ranks, behind the roll calls and press conferences, there is a story that many don't want told.
Miss Officer.
A story of power. A story of silence. A story of young officers, often women,
freeze me,
walking into a profession sworn to protect, only to find themselves needing protection inside of their own department.
Hey, girl, let me put these handcuffs on you.
Spank
This
that.
is where admiration turns into intimidation.
Put your hands up.
Where mentorship becomes manipulation.
Touch this.
Where saying no
Grab
can
this.
cost you overtime, assignments, promotions, and even your career.
You want to make a video?
And when complaints are made, the music doesn't stop.
Turn your body camera on.
It just gets quieter.
Film this.
Transfers, retaliation, isolation, whispers in the hallway, careers stalled while the powerful remain untouched.
Girl, your daggone gun belt is sure jiggling.
This isn't fiction. This isn't television drama. This is real life playing out in a department entrusted with public safety.
She jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby.
But today, G is pulling back the curtain. We're talking about sexual harassment inside NOPD.
Pull it back.
How it happens, why it goes unreported,
Oh, turn your body camera on, girl.
and why accountability so often feels like a season finale that never comes.
I need you to get you some video of this right here.
And that love potion number 9.
Love potion number 9. Call him up. Call him up.
And guess what? You made a complaint. It'll never see the light of day. Ever. Miss Officer, Miss Officer, let me get that thing straight up off of you.
I really did leave my desk job today to come
You
here for
did.
this.
You did. Make that thing jiggle wiggle. Mm-hmm.
Her face says it all.
Huh?
Her face says it all.
You know, we're making light of a very serious topic. And I don't want people to think we're not taking it seriously. I mean,
No, we got to make it sound ignorant. Ignorant is what it's seeming to be.
It's just ridiculous.
Right.
It's just that ridiculous that this is what is coming to the fore here at NOPD.
And to know that if the officers that got caught up into this same charge of sexual harassment had anything to do with that, I'm going to put this out here on behalf of us. If you did it, you did it. We're not trying to take up for you. And if you got fired because you did it, I understand why you got fired. But if you're being charged with it and the other folks are not being charged with it, I got a problem with that because you're not being treated fairly. Because if you did it and the other person did it, then they should have the same consequences.
What makes this especially sad and painful for me is that there is a woman at the helm. There is a woman at the helm. At a time when so many women fought for decades just to be seen as capable of leading a major police department, you would expect that leadership to bring protection, empathy, and zero tolerance for sexual harassment. And yet women inside the department are saying that they're still being victimized. And that cuts me deep as a woman, because representation without protection is not progress.
But you are a entity of men and women that just basically got out of the consent decree for many years, for at least 20 years? You have been in consent decree, and it's been several departments over there that have been questionable in their approach to what's going on. I was talking to a couple of my folks over there, and I don't need to even talk about who they are, but to know that there was maybe an alleged attempt of murder.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of things that people are now blowing a whistle on in the last 2 weeks, and we're going to continue to do a deep dive on it because it's very serious. And although we're joking about it today, we do take it very seriously. And people who are being victimized do need to blow the whistle on these things. If you're being retaliated against, you really do need to seek legal counsel who specializes in this area of law, because you should not be harassed on your job.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We got to take another break here. We'll take a break for news, and we'll come back. Got to let you know too what your president said.
There's so many things I want to talk about that's going on a national level. I really want to talk about sometime this week this SAVE Act that's going to make all of y'all single folk have to get married. But today we'll talk about the nationalization of the voting.
What you say?
Oh, yeah. You got to read the new Heritage Foundation document, which is calling for marriage internment camps.
So all the single folks are going to be put in a camp?
They're going to be put in a camp and made to be married. Now, we said some of the other stuff was ridiculous, and it's happened. So.
Yeah, Florida's up to it, too.
Yeah.
Everybody got to take that driver's test over.
They got to take the what?
English. Everyone has to take their driver's test over again, and only in English.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, y'all. News is next. We'll come back at 5 o'clock. Lines open, too, at 504-582-9422.
From the campus of Xavier University. WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
Here's what's trending this hour. Well, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass delivered her State of the City address Monday. Part of her speech focused on the Palisades fire, though she's been criticized for not doing enough. Plus, the white man charged in connection with the murder of Charlie Kirk trying to keep some documents private. And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the upcoming Super Bowl halftime performance by Bad Bunny will unite viewers. I'm Tammy Eswick, and that's what's trending.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. 5 o'clock. Time to get off work. Woo, woo. Yeah, blow the whistle. I think we blown your whistle already.
Oh, when you hit the young and the restless, it was over for me. But go ahead.
Let's go to the phone lines. Say it.
Hey, I just want to good evening to the both of you and to our listening audience. I also want to say to whoever is having a problem with the New Orleans Police Department, like I did a couple of years ago, a very crucial office was the Independent Police Monitor. y'all need to bring your call them up, and if you have proof, bring it to Miss Stella, who is the independent police monitor. You can't expect PIV. You cannot expect the police to investigate the police, and that's all I have to say. But the independent police monitor helped me out tremendously. Matter of fact, I tried to, in my case, I tried to file a police report. They wouldn't take my statement until the then police monitor, who was Sheriff Susan Hudson, until her office got involved. So 11 days, it took them 11 days to take my report only after the independent police monitor got involved. But by that time, there was already a warrant out for my arrest. So if you're having a problem with an OPD, I cannot stress enough, call the independent police monitor's office. And thank y'all.
All right, Sid. Thank you, brother. Yep. Sid was one of those, too, that he's always been an advocate for, because I remember when he was trying to get the situation that he was going through to Susan to talk to her about representing him or making sure that they understood what was going on, because it was domestic. It was a little bit too late, but he took his lick. He took his lick and came right back and made sure that they understood what was going on. Because let me clarify something, because I do know the tales of this story. It wasn't him that was abusing anybody. It was his other person in the same domestic issue. Instead of the guy, it was the girl that was abusing him, and he wouldn't hit her, but she hit him. And when I saw his face, I was like, "Oh man, he bleeding." Yeah. So they arrested him because she went and said he abused her. Now, was I there on the wall to see what happened? No, I wasn't. But I know, and you can pretty much tell by somebody's character and who they are and what they're doing. All right, our number 504-582-9422 is the number. Your president has made it a point to sit down in the Oval Office on yesterday and throw out there that he thinks that we should nationalize, federalize voting. So states would no longer be in control of their voting. He wants it to be federalized. And I think that they're going to try to take control of this voting, your rights of voting. And in doing so, what rights will go away? What rights will you have to vote? And let me say this too, for those of you that are looking around and saying, well, that didn't do nothing for me anyway. For those of you that have the right to vote and don't vote, it goes back to the old saying for me, you never miss what you never did or never had. Because if you start looking around and the federal government takes over voting, and then those folks, they're going to make up a whole bunch of rules so you won't be able to vote in the first place, don't come running. And, I can't believe they did that. Well, when you had the opportunity to go vote, you didn't. Now, what's an indicator? Somebody out there tell me, what is an indicator? What's an indicator that they're trying to do this? What's an indicator that you're going to end up actually acting as an advocate against this in the first place? Do you know what the indicator is? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. They've already sent the FBI to Georgia to take all the information, voting information from Fulton County, Georgia, so that they can do an investigation on it and bring it back to D.C. In my opinion, he's looking for something because he never got over that they say he lost Georgia and that they tried to prosecute him about that. All I need is 11,000 some votes for me to win. He never got over that.
Look, Trump has suggested that Republicans should nationalize voting, meaning that the federal government would take a much more direct role in running elections, including taking over the voting in some states that he claims were crooked, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
He repeated these remarks in an interview on the Dan Bongino show and in comments at the White House, again claiming fraud without any evidence. Trump and some of his aides framed this in part as making election rules more uniform, though details have been vague. But this is why this is a problem. Under the U.S. Constitution, states run elections, not the federal government. The Constitution gives states primary control over the times, the places, and the manner of holding elections. And the federal government can set some rules by law, but simply not take it over. So legal experts and constitutional scholars say there is no provision that would allow the president or the federal government to unilaterally nationalize elections. And doing so would likely require a constitutional amendment and extensive legal changes. But I think a constitutional amendment is definitely what he wants. He wants an entirely new constitution.
Right.
So state officials, for example, in California and New Mexico, have vowed to defend state control over elections and say they would challenge any federal encroachment in court. Voting rights advocates and civil rights groups like the NAACP strongly condemn the idea as unconstitutional and undemocratic. Now, you're saying, why do I care? Why does this matter to me? For Black Americans, voting has never been freely given to us. It's something we fought for. It's something that was restricted, restored, and then restricted again. And when power over elections shifts upward or away from local accountability, history shows it's often used to narrow who can vote, to prevent us from voting, to police how people vote, and to disqualify ballots in communities of color. So centralized power has never been good for Black voters. The modern safeguards Black voters rely on, especially the Voting Rights Act, have already been weakened after this case called Shelby County versus Holder. If elections are nationalized without strong civil rights guardrails, it's going to open a door to national voter ID standards that disproportionately disenfranchise Black voters. Aggressive voter roll purges, like we've seen, and federal override of state protections like early voting, same-day registration, or mail voting. So this is a real problem for us, and I really hope that people are paying attention to what is happening. Because when they do this, they're going to reshape who elects judges, who draws district lines, and who controls funding for your schools, for policing, and for housing.
I do think that, and I don't know how, I have not sat down and worked this out in my head or with anybody else. I do think that America has got to come up with a new way of voting, whether it's on your phone, whether it's an app, or something that can't be said that it got hacked or something of that sort, where there could be fraud. I don't know how that works yet. But we're starting to see, and we've been seeing it for years now, that folks will not go vote, and they won't go to a poll, or a poll gets moved, and they're not trying to find out where the new place is. How many of us, if we just had an app on our phone, would vote if we had that app? Will that work? I don't think so, because it's not foolproof yet.
They don't want to make it easy. They want to make it harder. And what they really want to do is take away our right to vote. That's what they really want to do. And I think that's really where we are heading. So I hope people are really, really paying attention to what is going on.
Well, and for those of you that did you see what I sent you? Did you get a chance to see what in your messenger? I was really disappointed in the number of folks that were standing around his desk yesterday as he was sitting there just saying, hey, we need to take over voting. But I was more interested in listening to the other comments that were coming in from Republicans that were saying, no, we shouldn't be in control of voting. States should be in control of voting like they are. And what we need to do is a better job of the states voting. Because he wanted to tell everybody how many swing states, he won all the swing states, and he did this, he did. So it ended up being about him. And I haven't proved this, and I don't think that anybody has. But the people that said, hey, look, this could be a problem with the voting. Plus, we got these swing states and yada, yada, yada. I really do think that Elon Musk had something to do with our last vote.
Oh, look, I will go to my grave saying that. I will go to my grave saying that.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But, you know, this is one of the things that I really want you all to keep your eye on the ball for. Now, the other thing I want you to keep your eye on the ball for, and I know we're going to end up having to do a larger show on this, but the Heritage Foundation is at it again. That's the people who wrote Project 2025, right? Well, now they have written a Saving America by Marriage Act. It is over a 200-page document. I have read it, so you don't have to. Now, on its face, this proposal sounds wholesome. Who doesn't want strong support for families, right? Who doesn't value commitment, stability, and love?
Mm-hmm.
But when you read past the title and you peel back the branding, this is not about supporting families. It's about policing them and compelling them. This proposal comes straight out of the Heritage Foundation's worldview, and that worldview is very clear. They believe there's only one acceptable family structure. And if you don't fit into it, the government will reward others and punish you. So let's be clear. Marriage is being used here as a gatekeeper to dignity, resources, and legitimacy. And that matters, especially to the Black community. Historically, Black families have always been strong, even when marriage was denied to us, disruptive, or weaponized against us. Enslavement made legal marriage impossible. Jim Crow destabilized households through violence and incarceration. Mass incarceration, discriminatory housing policy, and economic exclusion didn't happen by accident. And now the same systems that created all of that, breaking up family units, now want to lecture us about family values. So that's not concern, that's control. This proposal doesn't invest in child care. It doesn't guarantee health care. It doesn't raise wages. It doesn't address housing insecurity. Instead, it says, if you don't organize your life the way we approve of, you're on your own. So single mothers by the Heritage Foundation are going to be penalized. Grandparents raising children are going to be ignored. Blended families are going to be discouraged and devalued. And survivors of domestic violence who don't choose to marry are going to be punished. So I really want to talk to women. I want to talk to men who have daughters. This policy quietly assumes women should marry first and then ask questions later. It assumes marriage is always safe, always equal, always beneficial, and that's just not reality. For many women, particularly Black women, marriage without economic security, legal protection, or bodily autonomy can be a trap and not a rescue. But what they're doing here is they're even talking about marriage internment camps, where single people get forced to go to a marriage internment camp to be indoctrinated with messages about you've got to get married, pursue marriage before you pursue college. And they're even talking about making you have to get married to graduate from the program. Now, when I read this at first, I thought, surely this cannot happen in America. But then I started thinking about it. Everything else the Heritage Foundation put in Project 2025 has happened.
Right.
So, I mean, I really encourage people to look for this. It's called Saving America by Marriage. It's a 168-page document, and it is basically shoving marriage down the throats of single people.
But you know what I hear here? You know what I'm hearing in this whole, I think, just actually taking folks, telling them what they need to do and brainwashing them. I just hear cult-like issues. For you to be a part of something, you got to do this. You got to get married. You got to do this. You got to get married. We need you to come. But before you can graduate, you got to get married. This almost sounds cult-like. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. You know, that's where Jim Jones had them believing that everybody was going to heaven, just drink the Kool-Aid. Just drink the Kool-Aid. And I'm hoping that folks are reading this and going, you got to be kidding me. This is drinking the Kool-Aid. If you believe this, you're going to get a whole bunch of folks hurt, especially those that are not ready to be married in the first place.
This document is hot off the press, y'all. It just came out on January 8th, 2026. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's Heritage Foundation Special Report number 323. It's called Saving America by Saving the Family, a foundation for the next 250 years. And it's called, in a short term, Saving America by Saving Marriage. Okay? The general single thesis is marriage, defined as man and woman union.
Yeah.
Okay? Is a central social institution the federal government should actively prioritize, and the state should reshape incentives like welfare,
right,
taxes, and regulation to push Americans, especially low-income Americans, towards marriage, earlier marriage, and higher fertility. So the core claim is that America's crisis is family dissolution driven by welfare and a sexual revolution. The report frames a demographic and social crisis, meaning failing marriage, falling fertility, and more single-parent households. They're calling that a health crisis.
But this don't sound like no health crisis. This seems like we getting ready to have a swingers party.
That's what it sounds like to me. I'm happy you said that. It's like they're going to force these young women to get married to these old men.
We need you to come on over here and have these babies.
Right.
Because we need you babies.
They're calling this a civilizational emergency. And they argue that public policies since the 1960s helped caused it through welfare rules that punish marriage and work, and cultural shifts tied to contraception, abortion, and no-fault divorce are ruining America. So it is explicitly connected to the Black community by invoking the Monahan Report and contrasting a 1965 25% non-marital birth rate for Black women with a much higher rate today, using the ARC to justify national action. So they're not just proposing benefits, they're proposing a diagnosis that places a lot of the blame on cultural changes and the safety net on Black America. Okay? We didn't create this crisis, though, but we're being blamed.
Right.
The report's first policy imperative is very blunt. Eliminate all marriage penalties and welfare programs and impose meaningful work requirements. They give a concrete example. An unmarried mother earning $20,000 and a father earning $30,000. If unmarried, the report claims their combined post-tax resources, including welfare, would be $81,279. But if they marry, the government only has to pay $66,200. So it's a difference of $15,709. So the key takeaway is they want to force you to get married so they can pay less in welfare benefits.
So it's a savings for the country.
It's a savings for the country is what they're pushing. Okay. They argue that welfare reform can't be done piecemeal because Black families stack benefits across programs. They call for holistic redesign across nearly 90 means-tested programs to remove and shortly reduce marriage penalties. They're also placing a work requirement. They're repeatedly saying you cannot get any kind of welfare benefit unless you are working. So when I tell you this document is so detailed, and it has tons of charts and graphs, and they try to explain it as best they can, but the bottom line, as I see it, is forcing people to get married and penalizing you if you don't.
I'll give you another bottom line. The bottom line in what I'm seeing, especially for black men, is the fact that, oh, yeah, we tried it our way. Now we want to reverse what we did and put you back in the home of this black woman. Why? Because they're finding out that black women who had to take it upon themselves to raise that family and also be the breadwinners of the house did something that they weren't expecting, and that is becoming some of the smartest leaders in the country because they went back to school. Now they're not just cleaning your house, taking care of your babies. They are leading CEO-level jobs, becoming lawyers, becoming architects, sitting in top penthouses and leading some of those great big old jobs that they said that we were not, and our women were not going to get in the first place. And they found out that some of the smartest folks that's leading the way to successful business are black women. So now, Mr. Man, I need you to come back and take care of your woman. Y'all get married so that she'll be at home taking care of these families.
They definitely want women at home.
Yep.
And I'm hearing that in preparation for this, some lending institutions are no longer granting lines of credit to women-owned businesses. They are changing credit scores and lowering your ability to get a higher credit rating. They're going to start discouraging kids beginning in elementary school from women from trying to go to college and really pushing marriage, teaching about marriage in elementary school and high school as the goal. Not that college is the goal anymore. Marriage is the goal upon graduation from high school.
Wow. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Take some of your telephone calls, too. 504-582-9422. More coming up with the one, the only, Suzette Bagnaris, the attorney extraordinaire, ladies and gentlemen. More coming up next.
That's
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, sponsored by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Former Jamba Juice CEO James D. White has focused a lot of the last few years of his career on mentoring leaders. His latest book is on the importance of building a strong and lasting company culture. Talking to Bloomberg, White addressed the recent pushback on DEI.
Yes, I think the conversation has definitely changed, but I think the best leaders, at least the best leaders that I work with, they've got a true north. They're very focused on their values, and they know that if you put people first and you create an environment where all the humans get to do their best work, you're going to always win.
White's latest book is Culture Design, How to Build a High-Performing, Resilient Organization with Purpose, and he wrote it with his daughter, Krista White. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
In plain view for all to see, during a peaceful protest in Minneapolis, Minnesota, they gunned down a helpless man in broad daylight and then attempted to tell us that we didn't see what we saw. In fact, we sure as hell did see Border Patrol police slam VA nurse Alex Preddy to the ground, gang up on him like a pack of wild rabid dogs, beat and shoot him to death after they disarmed him. Preddy, a U.S. citizen, was not a threat. Video recording showed him only attempting to help an unidentified woman who was being thrown around by the Border Patrol goons like she was a rag doll. Preddy had been recording the incident with his cell phone. While Preddy lay dying, the Trump administration, without empathy or sensitivity regarding the tragedy and prior to an investigation, immediately began spreading a false narrative that Preddy approached the officers with a gun in his hand with intent to harm law enforcement. The video of the encounter clearly shows that Preddy was holding a phone, not a gun. The officers did find a gun in his waistband. It's not against the law to carry a concealed handgun in Minnesota if you have a license. There's no evidence that he ever reached for the weapon, which incidentally was already in police custody before they shot him. This was the second fatal shooting by immigration police, who 3 weeks earlier shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good, also a U.S. citizen. She was shot inside her car as she tried to drive away from Border Patrol. The White House called the deadly shooting justifiable, alleging she attempted to run over the officers. The video tells a different story. Both tragedies have drawn widespread outrage, with citizens and lawmakers from both sides of the aisle calling for an investigation. The two shooters involved in the killing of the VA nurse have now been placed on leave. Gregory Bovino, the man heading Border Patrol, has been removed from his position. There are also calls for the resignation of Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem. This crisis, ladies and gentlemen, demonstrates the dangerous situation faced by all of us at the hands of an incompetent, mendacious White House administration that would seemingly run a mile to tell a lie rather than just walk across the street to tell the truth. 2 innocent people are dead, a nation grieves, many of us are angry, even some Republicans are fed up. Maybe it's time to put a stop to this deadly foolishness perpetrated by thugs wearing masks, masquerading as law enforcement. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite, so I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
Hi, I'm Imani Godin, founder of Godance. Godance is a nonprofit interdisciplinary dance organization rooted in New Orleans, providing access to dance education and sustainable, wellness-centered art practices. Right now, you can be a part of this work by participating in our Key to Your Heart house raffle. Our programs are open, inclusive, and community-centered, supporting artists, students, and creatives at every stage. Your involvement helps expand access, education, and opportunity for artists of all ages. To learn more and get involved, visit Godance, GAUDANSE.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
President Trump is doubling down on calls for Republicans to nationalize elections. Yesterday in the Oval Office, the president called out multiple states for what he described as crooked elections and repeated debunked claims that the 2020 election was rigged. Here's just some of what he had to say.
Look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
Now, earlier in the day, Weijia Zhang asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt what Mr. Trump means when he calls to nationalize voting. And you'll recall, he first made those comments on a podcast with Dan Bongino. Leavitt insisted Mr. Trump is referring to a bill that would require voter ID.
I don't think any rational person who's being honest with themselves would disagree with the idea of requiring citizens of this country to present an ID before casting a ballot in a federal election.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us from the White House with more on this. Natalie, good morning. Clearly, the Constitution gives states the power to run elections. So what is the latest reaction to the president's additional comments?
Yeah, and Errol, the Constitution also gives Congress the ability to alter elections rules, just not the president. So that could explain why the White House is now insisting that President Trump was referring to this GOP election-related legislation, the SAVE Act, or Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, in his comments. The president, when asked about this again yesterday, said that he wants honest elections and that if states cannot do that, he wants lawmakers to do something about it. But Democratic lawmakers are pushing back. They say, you know, between the president's latest comments and last week's FBI raid on an election center in Fulton County, Georgia, they are worried that the president could be setting the country up for unprecedented intrusion into elections. Here's Senator Mark Warner.
I have deep concerns about the fairness of our elections in 26 and 28 right now. I have concerns about the elections in primaries in our country. These kind of actions that have taken place over the last year, as we've seen this systemic dismantling of the very protections that were put in place by, again, the first Trump administration. If it doesn't scare the heck out of you, it should.
Everybody understands that the states are in charge of administering the elections. The Constitution says that. But the Due Process Clause, as well as other federal statutes, provide some ground rules about what you can and cannot do.
Now, while the SAVE Act did pass the GOP House, it faces a huge uphill battle in the Senate, where it would require bipartisan support to overcome the filibuster. It does not appear that the votes are anywhere close to doing that. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he said that he wants to have a vote on the SAVE Act, but downplayed any talk at this point of trying to alter Senate procedure to move the bill forward, although he noted Republicans who want this bill to be passed are going to have conversations about it, Errol.
All right, Natalie Brand with the latest on this at the White House. Natalie, thanks.
All right, there you have it. That's from CNN. We appreciate everybody at CNN for letting us use the audio here. Looks like they're trying to move forward on a lot of this stuff, Suzanne.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, when they were talking about the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025, we sat on air and we said, hey, look, this is what they're trying to do. But, hey, man, they'd be crazy to do all this.
Right.
Just about everything that was in Project 2025 has actually been implemented. So now what the SAVE Act stands for is Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. And in plain terms, it would require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. Not a sworn statement, not checking a box, not showing an ID alone, showing actual documents. So under the bill, a person registering to vote would have to present one of a narrow list of documents, such as a U.S. passport, a birth certificate often paired with a photo ID, and naturalization papers. If you don't have those in hand, you can't register to vote, period. So supporters argue that the SAVE Act is about preventing non-citizen voting ensuring election integrity and restoring public confidence. And they claim it's just common sense. But here's the problem. Non-citizen voting is already illegal. Voting in federal elections as a non-citizen is already a felony. Multiple investigations, audits, and court cases have found that there is no evidence of widespread non-citizen voting.
Right.
And extremely rare instances really have not affected the outcome in any election. So the real harm is that when you show up, millions of Americans do not have access to passports. It costs money to get a passport.
I think it starts at what, $168?
Yeah, I mean, it's very expensive. A lot of people don't have them. I do encourage people to get them.
Right.
But,
And
a
if
lot
you got
of
any
people
type
can't
of
afford it.
But if you have any type of discrepancy, even if you don't know if you have a discrepancy, when you pay for that passport and you send that money in along with it, they give you 90 days to clean up that discrepancy. And if you don't, you still lose your money.
Large numbers of Americans, disproportionately Black, poor, elderly, and people who live in rural areas, do not have a passport or a readily available birth certificate.
Right.
Like my mom was born in New Roads, and she never had a birth certificate. I mean, these things happen. She had to get one much later in life.
I did too.
Yeah, so, reasons include home births, which were common, hospital segregation and poor record keeping, lost or destroyed records from fires, floods, Katrina.
Katrina,
Katrina,
that was my
Ida.
issue. My papers got all entangled up into not only just Katrina, but also had a house fire.
Also, name changes due to marriage, divorce, or adoption would also make your passport questionable because it won't match your ID.
Right.
So voting would now depend on paperwork. And, that's going to be a problem for Black Americans who are less likely to have passports or more likely to have name discrepancies on documents, are more likely to face bureaucratic hurdles replacing their records that get lost, or more likely to live in states with underfunded vital records offices.
All right, let's take Galloway. Galloway, hold on. What you say, Galloway?
Hey, what's going on, Brother Gerod?
What's happening with you?
Hey, y'all talking good stuff. And another thing that you forgot to add, what they're doing with voting also, if you are married and you're a female and your name has changed, you may have registered under your maiden name, but you're using your married name to vote, you got to go back and change that. That's they looking at that also. My wife had to go through that, I think a couple of elections ago, where they said that her the name that she's registered under has changed. She was 18. We weren't married when she was 18. We didn't get married until we was in our 20s. So that's another thing that you have to look at also, that the Heritage Foundation. And speaking of the Heritage Foundation, you know how long these people been around, right?
Yeah, I mean, Heritage Foundation been around over 100 years.
Yeah, they just having their heyday right now, though. I mean, all their wish lists are coming through.
And they got plenty of money.
Yeah.
Plenty of money. In the 1973, right around the time abortion came around, that's when they started going to the real conservative side of thinking. They've been waiting on an idiot to get in office, and they got that idiot now. And whatever he tells Congress to do, he'll do it. The reason why he cannot get that amendment that he wants to get for the federal elections, he only won 30 states. You need 38 states to have a constitutional amendment. So he cannot find 8 states to follow along with him. But they can change it, but it's going to take 60 votes to change that vote to change it to where these feds can count the votes. So I don't think that's going to happen. But then again, Democrats are so weak right now. I think that they'll just roll over.
I don't know why they are, and this is maybe it's just being perpetuated that way because that's how we're looking at them. They're not speaking up, or they feel like they're being run over, or they are being run over. Maybe they are just trying to hold their peace until the midterm elections. So if they become the majority in the midterm elections, are we expecting? Because I keep hearing, wait till the midterm elections, wait till the midterm elections. And he keeps doing stuff that's driving down his popularity with his poll, including his own party. So I'm wondering, will there be a changing of the guard, and then we'll go back to the regular instead of everything being where he's writing up these daggone presidential whatchamacallits to get stuff done instead of going through Congress?
The executive orders.
His executive orders.
Mhm.
Instead of going, because he's written over 200 of them just in the first month.
They're gonna have to show me because they had 4 years to put that man in prison and they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe nothing that they say. They gotta show me. But I do have a question for y'all. When you talk about the NOPD, what is our city council doing? Can you get one? And I'm not talking about Oliver Thomas. Can you get one of the sitting members of city council to come on and explain to us what's going on in the NOPD and what are they doing about it? They're supposed to be our first line of defense. We shouldn't have to be running to the radio to get our voices and our points heard, which I don't mind doing it because a lot more people hear it. But if you're a city council member, why don't you come to WBOK and listen to these allegations about the NOPD, whether it's sexual harassment, firing of black people, how did y'all come around behind the superintendent? Come explain to the people. Are y'all scared? Because y'all would run the WDSU or WGNO, but you won't come to WBOK? You like to come in the morning, Leslie. You like to come in the morning, Chief or Superintendent Kirkpatrick. Come to the reality check and get your veil wrong, I should say. Now, I'm up out of here, G. Have a good one, brother.
All right, my brother.
They don't want to come where they have to answer a tough question.
No, it ain't coming.
They want to come where they can get a softball thrown to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to the other station, or they're coming when they're not going to get a rigorous list of questions that they have to speak truth to. And if we really wanted to talk to them last week, we would have had to go to Washington Mardi Gras.
And bow. I'm gonna leave that alone. Miss Jones?
Yes, good evening to you all, to Suzette and you and the audience.
How you doing?
Okay. Regarding the passports, they're good for 10 years once you apply and get one. I think it's like $135, but they're all good for 10 years. And when you go through the process, you make sure that you follow the directions as far as the pictures type of pictures they require. That's regulation and all other documents. But they're all good for 10 years, and $135, $140 is not bad for 10 years. It's a sure ID. And another thing, your driver's license, anything, birth certificate, make duplicates of them. Keep them at home. Make 4 or 5 duplicates. Pass to a relative, a sister, or somebody so you have more on hand. Driver's license, state ID, whatever have you.
And you said make duplicates of them?
Yeah, copy on a copier.
Okay.
Like you have your driver's license, you have your one that you carry when you're driving, but have something at home, just like your registration papers for your car, your insurance. Keep something at home also.
Well, I got to tell you, since this ICE foolishness has been going on,
yeah, keep them in your car.
I have been traveling not only with my driver's license, but with my United States passport card.
Yes.
Yes. I want to be really clear that, if I ever get stopped by ICE in my car, I want to be able to show them that I am indeed a United States citizen. So I have that in my wallet all the time. I also have my global entry form in my wallet all the time. And I have my driver's license because I just want to be clear that I have all my documentation in the event that I am stopped. But I also recognize that I'm privileged. I mean, I have the ability to pay for a passport card and a passport for me and all my family members. My grandchildren have passports. I mean, everybody can't do that. I understand that. Right. A passport application fee is $130.
Right, but it's good for 10 years, though. I mean,
well, 10 years is okay. That's how much, but that's not how much it costs.
Just invest in it, but keep your originals at home as far as your passport, not carrying them around. Of course, you keep your real driver's license with you because you're driving, and you keep a copy of that at home, maybe several copies. But your passport, no, don't carry that original around. Never carry that around. Put it in a fireproof file box, waterproof file box, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones. We appreciate you,
dear. I
dear.
could tell you more. I have a passport, but I could tell you more. And I know it from traveling. Suzette, my daughter knows you and your husband. They went to school together, elementary school, St. Raymond's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my husband is a graduate of St. Raymond. I went to St. Francis Cabrini, but he went to St. Raymond.
Right, and you all were in each other's presence at a dinner when she came home to visit. I don't want to say on the air.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. I know your daughter.
I think you know her, right? I think you know her, and she's encouraged me. I need to get my documents together to.
Look, we're all having those difficult conversations. My family is now having the conversation of, if we have to leave this country, where are we going?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I never thought I'd have that conversation.
Need to go. Those people need to go. Trump and all the people like them. They need to go to Russia and get a taste and see it. We're not your problem.
All right.
We are not your problems. It's just too sad. But there's some things from way back that people are not. Younger people don't know. Older people are not telling. They had plot and planned this many years ago. We were children, and we used to listen to adults, listen to the news, and talk about the news.
All right, Ms. Jones, we got to take our break. Appreciate you, my dear.
I appreciate it, and I'm going to be in touch with you, Suzette.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, y'all just came for the cookout. Y'all having barbecues and everything.
Leave me and Miss Jones alone.
You and your families. Mm-hmm. Who made the potato salad? That's the question. More coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
AURN News.
On this day in 1913, civil rights icon Rosa Parks was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. Decades later, on December 1st, 1955, Parks made a decision that would help change the course of American history when she refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated Montgomery bus. Her arrest sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a year-long protest that challenged racial segregation and helped ignite the modern civil rights movement. Parks dedicated her life to justice, dignity, and freedom, becoming a global symbol of quiet resistance and moral courage. Over her lifetime, she received more than 40 honorary doctorates and numerous awards. In 1996, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Happy heavenly birthday to Rosa Parks. For AURN News, this is Clay Kane.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
In New Orleans, experience isn't a slogan. It's the difference between promises and results. John Johnson has already delivered for this city. As a state senator and chairman of the Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Committee, John Johnson authored a $215 million legislative package that rebuilt the Superdome, constructed the Saints training facility, and built the New Orleans Arena, projects that fueled jobs and economic growth. He secured $135 million to complete the Morial Convention Center, $10 million to make Jazzland and Six Flags a reality, $6 million to expand Suno, and $30 million to build the Technology and Research Park at UNO. That's not talk, that's results. John Johnson also brought more than $185 million in district improvements, strengthened higher education, and authored a constitutional amendment approved by voters to help limit state debt.
I've never believed in promising what I can't deliver. I believe in doing the work and getting results for New Orleans and St. Bernard Parish.
With seniority, experience, and a proven record, John Johnson is ready to return to the state Senate, not as a freshman, but as a leader. John Johnson for state Senate.
Paid for by John Johnson for Senate.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. What you say, cousin?
Hello.
What's going on with you?
Hey, cuz, how you doing?
Good. How you?
I'm all right. Two things. One, Treme Community Center had a meeting the other night. The mayor, before election, came several times campaigning. The other night, she didn't come to say thank you for your votes, let me introduce my staff that would be taking care of any of your concerns. And we continue to get abused and misused. And I thought it was very unprofessional that she didn't come, like we say, stick her head in the door and say, hey, look, I have some meetings to go to, make some more rounds and et cetera.
What night was that?
And
What night was that?
The other night.
What's the other night? That's either Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, about 2 nights at the Treme Center.
Was that Monday night?
It could have been. I lose track of time. It could have been Monday.
Yeah, because I think that at some point, look, I don't know. I didn't know what the itinerary was, but you may have been just coming back from the D.C. Mardi Gras.
Yeah, but I think she was there because somebody else came back, so she should have been back. Okay. But I'm just making a point. Mm-hmm. And secondly, about Trump with the executive orders. The executive orders are funded by Congress, so you can make them, but they control the money, to my understanding. Now, I might be wrong with that one.
When funding is already set, it's already set.
But the executive orders that he's making, those are new executive orders that got to be funded.
Well, if the executive order calls for an allotment from Congress, then I'm sure Congress will give him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, he controls Congress. It's not a big obstacle for him to get funding for whatever he proposes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm just making a comparison that Congress, controls the purse strings.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right, cuz. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that meeting at the Treme Community Center was on Monday, February 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. It was part of the city's Office of Community Engagement meeting series for District C East Bank.
So she sent some of her deputy mayors.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Harrow.
Yes. I was sitting in the traffic here in Houston, and I was listening, and I heard my good friend say she wouldn't know where to go if she left the United States. And I have a place. West Africa is really, really good. And I don't know if P-Town ever went over there or not, but my brother-in-law said it's the place to live. And I met a lady from Africa not too long ago. And if I can say on the phone that she was gorgeous and intelligent. So anyway, I thought I would just holler at you. I know next month is your month. This month is my month, and I'm getting close to becoming a senior citizen.
You're not quite there yet.
I will turn 89.
So, Mr. Harrell, what are you doing in Houston?
A lot in Houston. I had a good day today. Real estate, is my thing, and I won a bid from the bank on a foreclosure. And the place is so good, we can sell it. We can flip it tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna contact you, Mr. Harrell. I'm looking for a place to buy in Houston.
To live or to say
to Airbnb, to Airbnb. So I'm gonna contact you.
Oh, okay.
That sounds good. Well, since you know the lay of the land out there, I'm gonna contact you.
Yeah, I know it a bit. My wife was raised here. I've told people. And she's Louisiana born, but she wanted to marry up, so she came to California and met me. So
I know she just gave you that look. I know she's somewhere around, and she just gave you the look.
Yeah, so. No, I'm in the car. She's not in the car.
Oh, that's why you talking like that. Okay, because she's not around.
But anyway, attorney, if Houston. The population is growing. The economy is good. There's a shortage of housing. There's a lot of building going on. A lot of foreign investors that are just going off the chart.
Yep. So, I have two daughters that live in Houston now, and they are thriving there. One is a professor at the University of Houston in the School of Social Work, and she also has a clinical psychology practice. And the other is an MD who's working at the medical centers downtown. They love Houston, but they do miss home. New Orleans is still considered home.
Let me tell you this. I've said it over and over. I have 13 nieces, and 5 of them are in medicine. one an emergency room physician, one OBGY N or whatever you call it, and it goes on. But the weather here, my son said, we can't stay here too long. The weather is crazy. It could be 80 degrees one day and the next day freezing.
Yeah.
We're dealing with that in New Orleans right now. We're having the same type of situation here. So, no, I do understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you freeze to death. But my son has never been in this kind of weather situation. Now, if they had weather, it would be the place.
Okay.
But
Mr. Harold,
anyway,
we got to get out of here. We got to call it a day.
Call us earlier next time, Mr. Harold, so we can talk to you longer.
When will you be on again?
Friday. If not tomorrow, if I can convince her tomorrow, she might be been on all week.
I've been trying to make it a New Year's commitment to come more. So let's see. I might be here tomorrow from 4 to 6.
There we go.
Okay. You all have a good evening.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Mr. Harold.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, that's going to wrap things up. For real?
For real.
For real?
Yeah, I've been trying to come more often.
What? We'll see. We're going to see. I know what happened when you get in that office. Folks, that's going to wrap things up for us. We appreciate you for being a part of the conversation. We'll be back on tomorrow from 4 until 6. Tell somebody to join us. Other than that, y'all have a great rest of the evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.